I'm here in the Lido Beach's famous dunes section. I'm here because of this week's Parsha. Parshas Savo has the Bikurim, it has the Tzedakah given to the Leviim. But one of the main parts of the Parsha is the Tochacha, the rebuke. But right before the rebuke, there's a section where Moshe tells Bnei Yisrael that when they go into Eretz Yisrael without him, they're going to go into Eretz Yisrael, they're going to go to Shechem, and there are two mountains, Mount Eval and Mount Gerizim. And there's a valley in between, and that's what I thought of here in the dunes. You have the ups and the downs. Behind me is a little bit of a up and a little bit of a valley in the middle. And the Torah tells us that there would be 6 tribes on Mount Gerizim, 6 tribes on Mount Eval, and the ark would be in the middle. And then in Yehoshua, when it actually happens, the Torah tells us that there were 6 tribes on Mount Gerizim, 6 tribes on Mount Eval, and then the Leviim and the Kohanim and the ark were in the middle. So the Talmud in Sota has to discuss how that works, and they conclude that there were some Leviim on the top and there were some Leviim in the valley. But in any case, they would give the brachos and point to those and face those on Mount Gerizim, and then they would have the curses, the klalos, and point to those on Mount Eval, and everybody on both mountains would say amen to all the brachos. 2 interesting things. First of all, I read that the need for having someone in the valley, like why didn't they just talk about the 2 mountains? Because the valley represents the gap between good and bad, between bracha and klala, between curses and blessings. That we have to understand that there is a gap and that there are people in that gap. That's why I think that in Sefer Yoshua we're told that there were Kohanim and Leviim down there. That we need to live a little bit in that gap, that there are brachos and klalos in our life. And we are the ones. The Rambam writes in the Moreh Nevuchim that in Gan Eden there was no gap between good and bad. It was clear. There was no gray area. And we live our lives very often in that valley. And as we approach Rosh Hashanah, as we approach the Tochacha of Savo, we have to understand that we really do live in that area where we're looking one way and we see brachos, and we look one way and we see klalos, and we have to make that choice. And that's what the theme of the Parshios in the coming weeks will be, that we have to make that choice. That's what Rosh Hashanah is about. Even if we made choices that weren't the best choices thus far, we can take upon ourselves, do tshuva, to do those choices better next time, to make the right choices. And we are the people in the valley, the people that live in the middle and have to look at both ways and make those decisions. Have a beautiful Shabbos.